featuring Dr. Michael Ventris, meteorologist Sean Pratt, and your host, Colin Golzinski.
Okay.
All right, Colin, where are we going next, brother? Are we going into the a guest here?
I think we should. I think we should bring in our guest. We will welcome. There's Kevin. It said there was 2 guests waiting. I was like, how come? Who else is trying to get into our Zoom call?
Surprise guest.
So as I bring him up, there he is.
All right, there he is.
Having a little tech issues.
Yeah. Early on, it was a learning experience. We'll put it that way.
Colin wanted to mute Sean and I, so no one else could hear us, but everyone could just hear him. It's pretty much for that.
So for our viewers, this is Kevin. I like to let everyone know that Kevin is a huge Creed fan, and if you have any song requests, please let us know.
Scott Stapp, what a legend in his own world.
So Kevin
go ahead, Colin.
Kevin comes from Chicago as one of Sean's friends, who's also in our league that we have as the Fantasy Football Weather Guys, and we want to bring him in, talk about our draft we had on Monday, and just what else he wants to talk about. He has the floor.
You mean how crappy it went?
Oh, you didn't like your draft?
No, I actually do. Glad I didn't stick with Amari Cooper. I was kind of weary just with CeCe Lamb and all that, but.
So is that a regret then that you didn't keep Amari Cooper? So just for context, Kevin's referring to, we have a 12-team keeper league, a 3-keeper league. It's a half-point PPR. And so Kevin kept Mixon, Barkley, and you didn't keep Cooper?
No,
I kept Allen Robinson.
Oh, I like him.
I have to figure someone, either it's Trubisky or Foles. He's the only option for the Bears right now. I mean,
True. I mean, he's going to get the targets.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but.
And let's get a little bit of Homer, in you, right? You're a Chicago Bears fan, right? So you got to go, boy.
You can't really have faith in the fact that you overpaid for Jimmy Graham. He's arguably should be retired. Tariq Cohen, it seems like Nagy can't figure out what to do with him. Like, it was like a couple games where it's like, all right, great, we'll just kind of throw him out there, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. And then Montgomery, I just can't figure out if he's going to be healthy.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a big start decision this week. We don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to play. He's very borderline. So you have Tariq Cohen as a potential big play in Chicago versus Detroit this week.
I actually got Tariq Cohen in the 10th round.
Of our league?
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
Are you playing him?
Next question. I don't know.
Probably not. But, hey, Kev, you have some solid keepers there with Mixon and Barkley. I mean, those are some of the top running backs. I envy your position right now.
I do wonder about Mixon. I keep holding on to faith that he's going to somehow rebound from last year, but I figure with, what's his name, Burrow? I don't know. Maybe he finds a way to utilize him.
So here's the thing. Like, I was thinking the same thing about Mixon, but in his last 4 or 5 games, he was getting over 100 yards. He was getting 4 or 5 receptions. He was on fire, and I think Joe Burrow's going to open things up. You have AJ Green.
Sean,
you have.
You're right. The last 9 games, he had 214 touches, which averaged to 23.8 touches per those last 9 games. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And garbage time though. I mean, weren't there like 1 and 14?
Well, I think they were trying to solidify the first pick of the draft to get their guys. So once they solidified that, they were like, all right, Mixon, go do your thing, have fun.
Yeah, I anticipate them. We're playing against a tough Chargers front, but in the DFS league, the fantasy, the DraftKings, I picked up Mixon. I think they're going to get him out in space, and I think he has some great pass catching opportunities this game and potential to break out. I'm high on him.
Yeah, but the Chargers last year kind of weren't as great against the run as their stats showed. They averaged 4.2 yards per carry last year, allowing against them. So, you know.
I mean, they have a tough front when everyone's healthy. And everyone's healthy going into this year. So we'll see what happens, but they're opening it up.
So I want to say about, Kevin, if you ever have any, cold feet about Joe Mixon, I am down to trade for him. I will trade anyone on my roster for Joe Mixon right now.
I don't want.
Except for Mahomes.
I don't have him. I would trade him too. So
I don't know. I picked up Wilson like I did last year. He did pretty well.
he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man.
I just actually looking at it, I think my wide receivers are better than last year when it was I think I had Robinson, Cooper, and Edelman last year.
I can tell you who you had last year if you want.
Yeah. Well,
Tim, are you talking about your league or
sorry, for the 12 team and 10 team leagues here? So.
Which do you find you like better?
But those two stacked.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little confusing as right now. Yes, I will say pretty quickly. Yeah, two players.
who out of all your drafts, or let's just say the two leagues that we're in, who are you highest on? What pick are you most excited about that's like that's maybe not as
That is a good question.
Well,
So
you think
I can tell you my least popular right now after I made the pick was Nick Chubb in the second round.
Ooh.
Oh, why do you say that?
I just don't know what's going to happen with Kareem Hunt now that he's got that extension.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the extension went in like literally the day before.
Great point, Luker, too, on the Chargers defense.
What's that?
I'm just interacting with our fan. I like it.
He's saying Chargers are also missing a lot of key pieces on defense. Derwin James.
Last year you had Allen Robinson, Cooper, Edelman.
There you go.
And Golden Tate on your bench. You had two defenses on your bench. I trying to figure out what this final roster was doing here.
Hey, everyone in your roster puts in some random stuff there.
Yeah. I will say I'm looking for my golden pick, the what is it, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft. With
Scotty Miller.
Yeah. If he could be even remotely like an Edelman for Brady, I don't know. I feel like it's a win-win. It's the last pick of the draft.
Yeah, you're just throwing a Hail Mary at that point, hoping something lands.
I'm gonna say Evans gets injured or something, or he's injured for longer. I don't know. I feel like Brady's gonna use that safety net of the slot receiver.
He's doubtful for this upcoming for the game on Sunday. So
yeah, especially against the Saints, it's a good defense.
We're talking about Mike Evans.
Yeah, he's got a hamstring injury or something like that.
Yeah, never good. All the Mike Evans drafters out there drafted him in the second round. That's tough loss.
Yeah,
that is always the problem. You just don't know who to pick up on the swing. I mean, I usually do like the stake drafts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just one of those, like, you want to go best player, but you're kind of sort of thinking like, all right, well, if I don't pick up like Nick Chubb in the second round, I'm probably not getting another running back until what, 4th, 5th, if not later.
Yeah,
That's
potentially.
So, yeah.
It does seem, with regards to the Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt issue they were talking about. There's a lot of people that ignore, the fact that Kareem Hunt's a really good running back, and he's, he was like the more productive running back at the end of the year compared to Chubb. I mean, there's game scripts involved there with that, but there is that risk that, a lot of Chubb owners who drafted him in a top pick, you have to worry about. Though Chubb's talent is undeniable.
Here's the thing with Chubb. I mean, I think he had like 1,400 yards last year, all-purpose yards. I mean, I still think he gets a good bulk of the share of the work behind Baker Mayfield. I think Kareem Hunt, you need to worry about third downs. And my big worry with Nick Chubb is goal line. He had some goal line opportunities last year. He just was not able to convert on. If he converts some of those, we're not having a different discussion right now.
100%. Right. He missed out on some of his touchdowns.
Luker, I don't think that's an accident now that Fournette ended up at Tampa Bay. You may actually like that accident.
So I want to say when it comes to my pick that I'm most excited about in our league, I took a risk here with Zach Moss, running back for the Buffalo Bills. I'm hearing that he is a potential, he could potentially take over the number one position from Devin Singletary, because I'm hearing there's some ball security issues or something along those lines. Maybe he's not catching passes or something, but at least, everything I'm reading out of Buffalo is that Moss could be potentially good. I'm praying he is for my team, who's really thin on running back. Zero RBG, and I'm going to be eating my foot this year because of it.
Yeah, you're taking a dart throw there, Mike. And that's kind of like Kevin. Didn't you pick up Antonio Gibson in the 10-team league?
No, I probably shouldn't have gone geriatric the way I did, but picking up like Philip Lindsay, Le'Veon Bell,
Mm.
in my mind, I don't know. They might be some fillers. I'm just curious what the Jets do this year.
Jets are going to demolish it.
You're talking to a Jet
Number
fan.
one, J-E-T. Yes, Jets.
Wait,
Yeah, but Mike, what do you think about Frank Gore with Le'Veon Bell? You got Adam Gase and
Guys, I'm telling you right now,
him.
Jets are going to be a crappy team until Adam Gase is gone. That guy is the worst. I would rather bring back Rex Ryan.
nice.
With his Bills truck.
A couple of years.
Oh God, Adam Gase just demolished. He just ruins He just ruins it all. Like look at Miami. Look about all the stars that have emerged after Gase left Miami, or as players left Adam Gase when they were on Miami. Like Devontae Parker is amazing now. The running back for the Arizona Cardinals
Kenyon Drake.
Drake. It's just all these guys are popping out of the woodworks now, top tier fantasy draft picks, and it's all because Adam Gase left. And now what's gonna happen now? Freaking Sam Darnold's gonna turn into Mark Sanchez now because of the damn coach. That's what's gonna happen.
I think that's a great analogy right there. Is Sam Darnold to Mark Sanchez, and it's super unfortunate. All I can say is I'm glad I'm a Giant fan and not a Jet fan.
Yeah, screw you, Sean.
Okay, so you bring up a good point, though. What do you think about Ingram this year for the Giants? Because I make the same move every year, and I draft him, and then I regret it. This year I got backup, at least.
I think it's always an injury. It's always he's an injury risk. So if he's healthy, I think he's going to get the receptions.
I have him. I
That's
drafted
Hoping
him.
he does good. Hoping he stays healthy.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, he's a PPR machine. I mean, he's more of a wide receiver than an actual tight end. You might as well just line him up as like a slot wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Guys,
good
I'm
as
the
gold.
reason why Ingram got hurt last year because I traded for him the week before he got hurt. So I just want to say I ruined his year.
Mike and his voodoo.
I don't agree with
you. All our fans will start to learn that Mike thinks that there's the fantasy gods that gift and curse him. And
It's 100% true.
sounds.
You got to
more
figure
like
out
you,
what
Mike.
to sacrifice each year so you can actually have a good fantasy season. Every year since I've been, doing my rituals, I've been winning my league. So
I'm afraid to ask. We'll save that for another show. What your rituals are.
So what do you guys think of Naheem Hines out of the Colts? You got Marlon Mack and you got Jonathan Taylor. One of our viewers is asking about the steal of Hines, maybe late in drafts. Some places he's not even drafted.
Yeah, he's a free agent on our league.
Yeah.
Sure. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have more of a role. I think he's going to take on some of that pass work. They've had Naheem Hines for I've just seen it from him. I don't get excited, right? That's why he's being drafted. And I think Marlon Mack is going to still have a very large role, probably larger than what Jonathan Taylor is going to have. Now, we all expect Jonathan Taylor to overtake him at some point, but I just don't think that Naheem Hines is going to be as involved as Jonathan Taylor will be in the passing game.
Well,
Yeah.
because Marlon Mack was pretty big when Luck was throwing the ball, and now they have Philip Rivers. I mean, I just think Mack's going to be a PR machine at some point.
Yeah,
It seems like
there
when
may be some very, very, very low upside with Hines with PPR, but I mean he's got 107 receptions in 2 years, so
Yeah.
It's
not
not
bad.
bad for a running back.
Not bad, but Jonathan Taylor wasn't on the squad at that point, right?
right.
I have my doubts about Jonathan Taylor, but that'll be TBD. I think that's just a murky backfield right now. You got three potentials, I anticipate Jonathan Taylor to get first and second down work, but we'll see if he's effective.
From 18 and 19, he had 20% reduction in receptions from 63 to 40. And now that
That's also because you had Andrew Luck throwing the ball versus
regardless, and you don't have Andrew Luck,
Brissett.
and now you have someone else, so it's only going to go down. Is my point.
Well, I mean, Philip Rivers does leverage his running backs a lot through passing, dumping off the ball. He is one. We've seen his system work in San Diego when they were in the Chargers, and now they've moved, obviously. But he is a quarterback that does support that role. I just think that
There's other options.
there's other options. He's a guy. If you're in a 14-person league, or and you need some bench depth, you can put him on your roster. But
Yeah, potentially. Hey, Kevin, is there a player that that you were just looking forward to getting and you just didn't get them?
CH.
What's interesting is the A team no PPR, so full fantasy. I thought it'd be very easy to get a good quarterback, and I'm not mad that I got Roethlisberger, but it's just one of those I just forgot, and it went Murray, Dak, Wilson, just like that.
Yep. And what round did you get Roethlisberger though?
Honestly, last round. Yeah.
But I mean, if Roethlisberger's healthy, you got Juju Smith-Schuster, you got Deontay Johnson, you got James Conner. Let's hope he's healthy. You got options here.
Hey, don't forget about Eric Ebron. I don't know if you said it.
Eric Ebron, that's right.
Dude was pretty good last year, especially with a underperforming quarterback. So it's a good option if he's back to form.
I did hear that he is slinging balls, his arm strength is there this year. So it could very well go in the direction of you in that last round pick. You probably got some good value there with that.
I would agree. I would agree. I don't think Roethlisberger, he was actually a player I was targeting. He got picked up in most of the drafts I was in, but I was looking to back him, have him as a backup, but get him.
I think the real value there with Roethlisberger back is Juju Smith-Schuster, right? I mean, he fell off last year because there's a number of reasons why. He didn't have his quarterback. He was playing outside. Now that Deontay Johnson's there, he gets to go into the slot again, and now you have this machine, right? So I think Ben's going to be – and the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is going to be back to where it was before they had to make a major shift.
So Kevin, one question. What do you think about weather when making your lineups, or do you?
Well, I guess if I'm thinking about Chicago, I do, just because it's always crappy weather. I really do look at, though, if it's going to be a winter blast, I think of Dolphins and Patriots. They've had some iconic games in the snow, and you still kind of think about if it's going to be a ground and pound kind of game, or if Brady just going to throw short passes to Edelman, previous Patriots, obviously, but
and that's,
consult.
Yeah, and that's the question, right? How is, weather affects certain positions during certain types of weather. And it could definitely vary. And that's what we're here to hopefully provide for you.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about then San Fran and Arizona? Is that going to happen or no?
Oh, that's an interesting, different type of weather. I forgot.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, not the same path, but yeah.
We're talking about the forest fires and the smoke out in San Fran.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, right? I mean, that's maybe not even something that we've thought about, but that's another kind of natural phenomena that can definitely impact the game.
Yeah. I mean, you got to worry about air quality, right? The players running out there, breathing in a lot of that, the particles in the air that's being deposited from those forest fires. I'm sure it's going to cause some issues there. So but we're not health experts, right? I mean, it's hard for us to kind of understand that.
I don't think we want to be in the natural disaster business this year, especially this
2020, man.
Yeah, the year that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Kevin, I got one more fantasy question for you. We got a lot of big rookies come in, a lot of big wide receivers, and also some good running backs. Who's your top rookie pick?
So that's another pick I wanted to get was Ruggs on the Raiders.
Yeah.
I just didn't get around to it, but I feel like I was a little too conservative this year in picking kind of go-to people. What I also made the mistake was that a couple years ago with the Broncos, Freeman, their running back.
Royce Freeman.
Yeah, I picked him up third or fourth round, thinking, all right, I'll try a little risky, and it definitely did not pay off. And Phil with that. I'm kind of curious how he does. So, I mean, who else do they have?
They have the other rookies, Edwards. And I was looking for him, but then in camp, they're saying Edwards is lighting things on fire. And you're getting him maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4 rounds later. So I actually picked him up in your league, Kevin. And so I'm looking to see how things pan out there, but Ruggs still looks like a solid player.
Yeah, I won this year in our league, a record. And that's
so I just want to interrupt. I just got notified that my mother is watching, so hi to my mom.
Oh, hey, Colin's mom. Thanks for joining the stream. We appreciate it. So I do want to say about quickly to Brent Edwards. I drafted him in our league. I've heard some good things like you did, Sean, and I've also heard that he was a rookie that didn't he get hurt early on, and then he had some issues. Then he kind of fell in the draft in the NFL draft, and now he's potentially going a sleeper rookie there, and I'm hearing he could be the number one rookie wideout at the end of the year. So
A lot of
that's
hype.
kind of why I went out and grabbed him. A lot of hype,
Well, I think if you guys want, I know you guys will keep talking about fantasy all night long, but I kind of want to circle back the conversation with Weather. Thank
Sure.
Kevin for his time. Give him a Friday night back.
Yeah, thanks Kevin for coming on, talking some fantasy with us.
Yeah.
It's always good to get different opinions on here. So
And
Yeah,
I
good
welcome
time.
you anytime with arms wide open.
I just heard the news today. It seems about it's gonna change. It's good.
So hope to see
All
you
right.
guys soon in Chicago.
Of course, looking forward to it.
See you, buddy.
All right, Kevin, thank you.
See you guys.